Okay guys, so I'm looking at building new arrows. This is what I have, okay? A Blackout Hunter X3 with blazer vanes on it and a Montec G5 on there. And I'm gonna move to a new arrow with Tac Driver vanes, and we're gonna put a new insert in there. We're gonna work some things out. Okay, so again, here's where we're starting. Some blazer vanes on a simple shaft. We got some custom shafts. You can order these online. These just happen to be from Black Eagle Arrows. These are zombie slayers, but this is 6mm shaft, carbon fiber. Very excited to try these out, recommended by a buddy of mine. And this is where we're gonna go. This is where we're gonna end up. So it all starts by prepping your arrow, and we're gonna start by cleaning the arrow and our vanes with acetone, or very high percentage, something more than 90% isopropyl alcohol. That will help us prep our surface. So I'm just running the vane, making sure there's no fuzz on there. And the same thing on the shaft, just a nice little wipe down. You don't want to drench it, you just want to let it get cleaned up. That'll take any of those hand oils off of there. And then we'll get ready to put it in the jig. So we have our bare shaft here, and the knock is gonna go onto the indexing blade inside of the indexing bezel here. And that's gonna sit in there nice and straight. You wanna make sure it's bottomed out. You have your actual fletching clamp. And now, as you remember, I've cleaned that with acetone. So I'm just gonna clamp that in there and make sure that the whole vane is as tight to that clamp as I can get it. And then I'm gonna line it up with whatever tick mark I want. This is about 3/4 of an inch or so. And I'm trying to make sure that it's the same on every single vane I do. So I use that indexing side to make sure I'm right. Now, I'm gonna take my vane glue here. This happens to be Tac Vane glue because I'm using Tac vanes. I just wanted to use the same stuff. You're gonna put a very thin bead on there. Doesn't need a lot. And then we saw a recommendation to kind of come back and run that just to smooth that out, which does seem to help a lot for avoid mess. You don't want too much on there. Then you throw it down on the magnet. You bottom out this on the bezel, and then you push that down from back to front until it's nice and seated tightly. Then you pull that nice and tight, keep it clamped, and hold about 5 to 10 seconds. Pop that off. And now you can see we have a nice vane put on there at a slight angle. This one happens to be 2.5 degrees. And that'll give us a little bit of rotation when we're shooting. So I went ahead and put a second vane on here. I just want to show you to rotate to whatever you're indexed. We're doing 3 vanes, so it's 120 degrees. Just rotate that knob, and that'll give you your index level as long as you have it set to the correct angle for whatever number of fletchings you're doing. In this case, we're doing 3, so it's 120 degrees. So now I've prepped this vane. Again, I'm going to go ahead and put my glue on there real quick. Nice little bead. Even that out, throw it on the jig, pull it back to front, clamp it down there, keep it tight for 5 to 10 seconds. Now it's coming out. So it just slides out, and that is flush. So another thing we can do here, we're going to show you, is just serving the tips of your vanes with some glue. This helps to kind of keep your vane on there and ease the force as it hits targets and passes through things. Gives you a little bit of extra wiggle room. And I like to put just a little dot on there, and then I put the arrow straight up and I rotate it, and that helps to spread the glue along the radius of the shaft, so that it covers the full front of that vane. I do that for maybe 5 or 10 seconds, let that glue set up a little bit. Inspect it, you can kind of see how that creates a little shelf.
The focus is
tough to do. That's okay, no big deal.
Ooh, there we go. Perfect.
And then that goes on the pile. So the final thing we're gonna do here is install the insert, and that's gonna be done by putting it onto your fixed broadhead. And we're going to do that so we can align the fletchings with the blades of the broadhead. And I'm going to take some glue. I'm using Blue Glu here, but I'm just going to put that in there and rotate the shaft as I'm doing it. And then I'm going to stick the insert in and twist the shaft again just to spread that glue out. Then I'm going to lay my fixed broadhead down with 2 blades matching up with 2 fletchings there, also flat against the table. And that'll line up my broadhead with my fletching, so it'll be in line. And here's just another look at that just from the front end, so you can kind of see how those line up. But then you're done. You've done a great job putting your first arrows together, and sure, there's lots of different nuances, but this is how I do it. Cool, so that's how you do it, guys. We built our first custom arrows here at Browtine. So again, we went ahead and put some custom vanes on this Black Eagle Arrows Zombie Slayer. Again, a friend of mine said to try them out, so we're giving them a go this season. I'm liking them so far. We put on our Tac Vanes Drivers 2.25-inch vanes in white, glued those on there, and then we dressed up those. And then we also put in an insert. So we did that for 8 arrows total, but hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully it showed you at least at the basic level how it's done. And hopefully you feel comfortable giving it a try yourself. Just always be careful and make sure that you're doing your research. So if you have questions, reach out. We'll do the best we can, but there's lots of great resources that we can point you towards if you have even more difficult questions.